I'm Will Gove for GSM Arena and welcome to our head-to-head series. And today, it's Samsung's Galaxy S26 Ultra versus Apple's iPhone 17 Pro Max. If you want to know which of these two flagships comes out on top, we have all the test data to answer that. So let's jump right in. The Galaxy S26 Ultra and the iPhone 17 Pro Max are both large phones, but in hand, the Galaxy feels noticeably thinner and lighter. The iPhone has a more standout design though, with a back of mostly aluminum, rather than just glass. As we've seen before, while both phones are IP68 rated, the iPhone can survive in up to 6 meters of water for half an hour, compared to 1.5 meters for the Galaxy. The display features are something major setting these two phones apart. Specs-wise, they're similar. The Ultra's screen is 6.9 inches, and it has a high QHD resolution and an adaptive 120Hz refresh rate. The Pro Max also has a 6.9-inch LTPO panel. It's slightly lower resolution, but that's negligible. The max brightness is comparable too. While the Ultra's full display did measure slightly brighter in automatic mode, both phones can get close to 3000 nits when measuring a small portion of the screen. And both the Galaxy and the iPhone have an anti-reflective coating which helps reduce glare, something missing on many other flagships. Other than that though, the S26 Ultra is the one that has stylus support, with all of the extra functionality that comes with that. Another key difference is the all-new privacy display feature on the Galaxy. It makes it difficult for people to see the contents on your screen from an angle. It's something like those privacy screen protectors, but you can disable it at any time, or set it up for only certain things like passwords. But the iPhone does have the advantage in that it has support for Dolby Vision video, on top of the HDR10 Plus, which you also get on the S26 Ultra. But of course it also has that larger cutout too. The cutout has the dynamic island functionality. A black bar extends around it to display relevant info and shortcuts. The TOF sensor within this cutout enables Apple's FaceID. It's more secure than the standard Face Unlock on most other phones, like the Galaxy. On that phone, you'd be using an ultrasonic under-display fingerprint reader for secure biometric input. While these two phones offer the same lower storage options, the Galaxy caps out at 1 TB, while with the iPhone you can get as much as 2 TB if you have the extra cache. Both phones have stereo speakers, and they scored the same on the loudness charts. The iPhone has the better sound though. It's warmer, with more pronounced bass and clear vocals. Let's have a listen to compare.
I should just let them all go when life seems impossible from within. Change just one little thing. When life feels intolerable, find your traces.
These two flagships come with different chipsets. On the S26 Ultra, you get Qualcomm's top chipset for Android flagships. It's a Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, and it's even an enhanced version for Galaxy, with higher clock speeds. The iPhone 17 Pro Max, on the other hand, runs on an Apple-made A19 Pro chipset. Either way, you'll enjoy a high-performance chipset capable of running pretty much anything you throw at it. Still, in benchmarks, the S26 Ultra seems to be slightly outpacing the iPhone in the multi-core test. However, when it comes to thermals, the Galaxy did not impress us in our prolonged CPU stress test. While the iPhone did a solid job with its CPU. The caveat is that this is a different test because of the different platform. Of course, the S26 Ultra is an Android phone, and it comes with Samsung's new One UI 8.5. The iPhone 16 Pro Max uses Apple's latest version of iOS 26, with its liquid glass design language. One unique iPhone feature is that it has a dedicated action key, which is programmable to launch preset actions or specific shortcuts. Both the Apple and Samsung flagships pack AI smarts as well, but the AI features have been around longer on the Galaxy phones, and are the latest offered by Google and some other AI companies. You can check out these features in our dedicated One UI 8.5 video. Meanwhile, Apple is a bit behind the curve, and some AI features that Apple promised still haven't arrived yet. We go more in depth into Apple's software features in our iOS 26 video. And while Samsung promises 7 years of software upgrades, Apple gives you 5. Let's move on to battery life. The S26 Ultra has a 5000 mAh battery, compared to 4823 on the Pro Max. But even so, while the Galaxy itself is great battery-wise, the iPhone did much better in our tests. It earned an active use score of nearly 18 hours, versus about 16.5 hours for the Galaxy. There are some nuances though. The Ultra did better in our call and video streaming tests, while the iPhone lasted longer in web browsing and gaming. For wired charging, the S26 Ultra is capable of 60 watts, compared to 42 watts on the Pro Max. In our tests, the Galaxy outpaced the iPhone by a big margin, and not only at the 30-minute mark. A full charge was much faster, less than 45 minutes, versus almost an hour and 15 on the Pro Max. However, while both phones support 25-watt Qi 2 wireless charging, only the iPhone has built-in magnets that offer more versatility for charging accessories. You need to buy a magnetic case to enable that for the Galaxy. Onto the cameras. The S26 Ultra has 4 on the back, a main cam, a 3x zoom, a 5x zoom, and an ultrawide. Meanwhile, the iPhone's rear setup includes 3 cameras, a main cam, a 4x zoom, and an ultrawide cam. One unique feature on the iPhone is a capacitive control key for controlling the cameras with. Daylight photos from the main cameras are great from both phones. The iPhone's 24-megapixel output gives an illusion of more detail, but we wouldn't say there's a meaningful advantage over the Galaxy's default 12 megapixels. Otherwise, the color rendition is comparable, and dynamic range is excellent on both. The Galaxy's 3x camera isn't matched on the iPhone side, but its photos are unremarkable at best. Comparing the Galaxy's longer telephoto to the iPhone's, both have a relatively digital look to the detail, and capture textures in about the same way. Adding digital zoom to the mix, the Galaxy's 10x is better in broad daylight than the 8x from the iPhone. However, in less than ideal lighting, the iPhone does a better job. Comparing the ultra-wide cameras, we get alright images from both phones, with more or less the same level of detail, and the Galaxy is showing a more vivid color rendition. In low light, main cam photos are comparable. Each phone is just about as good as its arch rival. As far as automatic night mode processing goes, neither phone is too keen for it to kick in, but the iPhone seems a bit more reliable in its behavior. Because of all this, it was hard to get a night mode scene with both phones, but the result from the Galaxy is a bit behind the iPhone. Without the night mode, the Galaxy's 3x telephoto isn't bringing a lot to the table, capturing relatively soft detail and overall bleak colors and contrast. At the longer zoom level, the Galaxy's 5x photos are sharper and show better definition than the iPhone's. The iPhone shots are still decent, but they can be gritty in some areas, while also smoothing out some texture at the same time. And zooming in further, things are more or less on par. The ultra-wides are comparably soft and noisy in full auto mode between these two phones. The photos are usable, but not that likable. Both phones feature nice selfie cameras, but the iPhone's features a multi-aspect sensor that allows you to switch orientation without needing to turn the phone. In addition, the iPhone offers wider coverage, but the Galaxy's image quality is better for rendition of fine details like hair. Both give you likable skin tones and great colors. And here's a look at the 4K selfie videos taken with either phone. The two phones have wide-ranging capabilities for video recording, including pro-grade codecs and recording to external storage, but only on the Galaxy can you record in 8K. Samsung has also made a big deal about their Horizon Lock mode for stabilization, where the phone will shoot a mostly level video regardless of the orientation of the phone. Comparing 4K videos, the main camera clips are nearly the same, but the iPhone's rendition is slightly sharper. The iPhone's 4x footage is also a bit more detailed, with better definition than the Galaxy's 5x clips. The iPhone has better contrast here too. And the iPhone has a sharpness advantage again with the ultra-wide cam. In low light, with the main cam, the iPhone is ahead in terms of sharpness and noise performance, though both do well with dynamic range and colors. The ultra-wides are about on par, offering comparably soft results, though the iPhone's footage is cleaner. Looking at the telephotos, it's a bit of a toss-up. The iPhone's clips are sharper and cleaner, but you get internal reflections and flare from the periscope. The Galaxy's lens is simpler, so you avoid those. So there you have it, guys, the S26 Ultra and the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Let's do a quick recap of what you'd get with either phone. Both of these flagships are built from premium materials, with IP68 ingress protection. And they have a large, bright, anti-reflective display. And either way, there's a high-performance chipset, and a versatile set of cameras. With the Galaxy though, you get the privacy display and stylus support. There's a fingerprint reader for biometrics. Wired charging is much faster. There's a more advanced suite of AI features and longer software support. And the selfies are better. The iPhone, on the other hand, has the action key and camera control key. There's advanced FaceID for biometrics. The speakers sound better. Battery life is longer, and there's MagSafe support. The video recording quality is better. and you have the multi-aspect feature for selfies. And besides that, the difference between the Android and iOS ecosystems may be an important factor. In the end, if you want better battery life, speakers, and video recording, go iPhone. But if you want the faster charging, privacy display, and stylus, the Galaxy might be right for you. Either way, you'll get a great flagship. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.